Well, I would like to welcome everybody to the demo today of the Owner Channel Manager product, which is what I am going to focus on here today. This is in follow-up to a webinar that we gave 2 weeks ago, which described the owner's login feature. And the owner's login feature is for all owners of the Palm Beach Hotel. And that webinar is still available if you want to go in and understand those features for logging into the owner's area. And that was, once again, a way for the owners to log in and be able to manage reservations and to update their reservations and keep everything in sync for the front desk users there of the hotel, so that your guests can come and go, whether they're, yourself, your family, your friends, etc. Today's webinar is going to focus on using what we call the owner channel management. So these are for owners who want to take either their unit, or even if they have additional units, and they want to make those units bookable, whether it's just for their own website, whether that is for a concierge system, whether that is for Airbnb, Booking.com, Expedia, whatever your channel manager goals are. We're going to go over that feature and how that works with the operations of the front desk at the HOA. And the product that we're going to talk about today is available on our website, so you can go and demo this on your own later on, learn more about it. It's under the word products, and we're going to call it the channel manager. Now, the variation on the channel manager is that this one's pertaining specifically to the owners of a property, like the Palm Beach Hotel, which is using our property management system. And the goal here is to take all the features that had been described in the owner's area, but add some additional sales and marketing features to your properties, or to the owners, so that they can participate in a wider distribution network and sell their units to, the global channels. There's many, many channels we can connect to. There's over 800 of them, including every single travel agency system. So the big picture here is that an owner can have one or more of their units, and they can sell those through all the channels, including their website, which we're going to get into today. And it will all integrate with the daily operations of the HOA. So I'm going to start with showing you what you would do. You would go to a website. It's a little bit different than the one that we went over in the prior webinar, which is for the free use of the owners area for the owners. And this one's called members.bookingcenter.com. And you will all get an ID and a password to log into that site. And what you're going to realize that when you go to that site, one of the first places you're going to go is a list of your bookings. And you can tell in this sample that we're using that we are getting bookings through a few different, what we call agents. The BKGDIR is a Booking.com, and this is one of the Booking.com programs you can participate in. It's the direct basic one. There's Airbnb. Airbnb really only has one type of program for properties. Big channels like Booking.com and Expedia and, say, travel agencies, they have multiple ways you can participate in their business models. You can do packages, you can do non-refundable rates, you can do all sorts of things. But we're going to do a pretty simple explanation of how this works. And we're just going to click on, say, one of these Booking.com reservations right here. And you'll notice that it takes us to a page that we call the booking detail page. And this has all the booking information that was originally booked through Booking.com. This has, of course, this is what we call the ID. And this ID is pertaining to the specific owner who's participating with BookingCenter. This ID references the actual number of the reservation that it was made in. It references the reservation number that it links to for the main HOA property management system. It tells you various information, when the date was made. There's some information about, signatures and self-check-in, which I'm not going to get into in this demo, but of course those are available for you to use as well. Information about the guest and what they booked and how much the room rate was for their various nights of the stay. Here we get a little summary of the accommodations. If they booked extras like, rides to the airport or a bottle of champagne or, additional cleaning, then those would be available here as well. And any kind of information that they entered for payment. For example, in this case, when they booked, they entered an American Express with a credit card. Now, it is possible that you will wish to use an embedded credit card processing here, because we can actually go to a reservation like this, for example, and click add receipt. And we could add, an American Express payment right here and use this system to both make purchases, i.e. take money from a card holder, as well as put negative numbers in here. Like if I put negative 140, 32, we would be giving 140 or 32 to this credit card. If I have a positive number, then it would be a positive take from the credit card. Having the credit card integration option is optional. You certainly don't need to, but it's a nice, feature for some properties who want to integrate, true electronic commerce, so that all your deposit or your stay revenue is actually realized at the time of the booking. So you don't have to go back and go to the guest and get follow-up, payment information. That would be adding receipts if you wanted to do that. You can confirm your booking just by pressing this, because right now it's in status unconfirmed, the assumption being that you as a property owner haven't confirmed it manually. You can cancel a booking, right, which will give a cancellation number, as well as you can send a cancellation letter, because there's times where you need to cancel reservations, of course, especially those that are booked with you direct, say, your family or your friends. You can make adjustments to bookings. So right now, this booking is going to be $150 plus whatever tax. This tax is set up to be zero tax, so this one's kind of easy. This would just allow you to add and subtract amounts to the booking revenue you have, so that at the end of the year, for example, if you wanted to give your accountant, here was the actual stay income that we received from our reservations. It's a very simple way to do so, because sometimes what's actually booked is not the same as what's actually realized revenue. Sometimes people stay longer, sometimes people stay less time, sometimes you add different features to their reservations. That's just a way to adjust the booking cost to make it very simple. And you can do things like send correspondence. So for example, I'm going to show you just a very simple confirmation letter. You could send this, of course, Booking.com in this case actually sent the Booking.com confirmation letter to this guest. It sent it to this email address right here, which is my demo, my demo one. But if you wanted to have your own letter, which is branded all about your property, so that you start to bring that guest back to you to make follow-up bookings, then you can, as you can see, you can make very complex and elegant letters here. And BookingCenter actually has a wide range of a library of different letter templates you can use, so that you can, follow up with your guest. This is what the letter would look like. You can see that it takes by default the address from the guest that's in this reservation. This one is actually BCCing the property, so you can always have a blind carbon copy for your own records. And of course, this is the subject. I'm not a big fan of the all upper cases here, but this is how this person decided to enter it. And if I click send email, we'll actually send that email and give you a verification that's been sent. So that reservation has been booked, obviously from Booking.com, and then a guest has received an email. And of course, this is my email. I'm just sharing it with you here so you can visually see it. And this is what I received on that email right here. And you can see that, for example, this is doing some interesting things. Your confirmation letter is actually starting to sell as a pre-arrival enticement other things they might do when they get to your unit. For example, this one has a spa service and in-room dining. That might not be appropriate to you, but there might be other things that you'd like to sell in that email correspondence. So you can have unlimited letters here, and these letters can go out automatically. You can set them as what we call auto letters, so that say, X days after a booking or Y days before an arrival, you can send some follow-up confirmation information. You can have things like, say 3 days after the departure date, a survey could be sent. There's lots of things that you can use your letters for, either manually or to send automatically. And you can actually set up SMS messages. So they can go by email, they can go by print, or we can turn on your property for SMS. So the same letters, usually you don't send such big letters as this by SMS because it's too much information, but a smaller burst of, say, day of arrival information by SMS can be quite, nice and appreciative by your guests. So you can manage your basic booking information very easily in this product. It's this owner's channel manager product. You can communicate with your guests, etc. One of the key benefits to this whole thing is how this works for the front desk operators there at the HOA. And in this case, you can tell that this is the reservation that you see. This is yours. Only you see all this information. But the front desk sees quite a bit of the same information as well. They also see the reservation. I'm not going to get into the details of the system the front desk uses. I'm only going to show you that, in fact, this reservation was booked here for your unit. It was pertaining to your specific K104 unit. Same information that you're seeing over here is now available to the front desk, so they can check the guest in. They can give them a key fob or any kind of entry instructions that you've put on their reservation. And you don't have to follow up with your HOA front desk based on the arrival or departure. And of course, if the guest cancels, you don't have to follow up with the cancellation because it will automatically cancel in their system as well. And that's the real benefit here to the owner using the channel manager. If you're doing any outside sales, linking it here to the operations of the property is the real time savings for you, and your staff there at the HOA will thank you very much for that as well. So, you've got this ability now to make reservations, to edit reservations, which I didn't get into much of the editing, but you can edit things like, for example, here is that note that came from Booking.com. So you can edit this information to give specific instructions to the HOA staff, or to ask your HOA staff to give specific instructions to the guest, etc. You can change how many adults, guests, or infants are coming. But for example, for a Booking.com editing or a cancellation, usually the guest is making those edits themselves, and those edits will just flow through. So any kind of additional information that the guest adds will just get added to the comments. And if they decide to change their arrival date or change their departure date or change their rates, which, as you know, in some channels like Airbnb and Booking.com, that can happen quite frequently, then those changes will just automatically flow through to the front desk. You don't have to worry about that. The system, I could show you all sorts of features about how we, describe like activities and attractions in your area. There's lots of features that are built into this product so that you can participate in all these global channels out there on the internet. I don't want to get into all that, including, images that we can, put together the property, et cetera. But what I would like to do is go into a couple of the reports that are built into this product, because, you might want to see, what are my reports for this month? I'll just do a very general thing, say the 1st through the 29th. And here is an arrivals report. So you can just have a summary of who's coming in when. Sometimes it's beneficial to work with, say, for your whatever property management company you might be working with, or housekeepers. There's other features that maybe you want to look at, what we call booking production, like how many bookings have been made this month. That's obviously different than arrivals, because these bookings might be arriving in other days. So here's the production so far that we've made this month. This is how much business you've generated. I could go over other reports. They're fairly descriptive. I don't want to go into much detail, but they can be viewed on screen. They could be sent to Excel. They could be put into a program to graph them, et cetera. There's lots of things you can do with our reporting engine. I wanted to show a few interesting factors that I think might entice you to do business a little bit smarter and better. If you've got 1 unit, you've got 3 units, et cetera, you might want to offer your guests the ability to book direct with you. And like I said, if you have that credit card feature, they can actually even pay in real time before they get given their confirmation number. So we offer a basic booking engine in this package of services that we're selling to as part of the owner channel manager. So you can have a very simple website, like this, that describes your property. They can check availability, right? They can get room details. So here's some pictures that I just put in about my property. You can see all sorts of styles of pictures, from big ones to large ones. You can use the gallery, right? When they make a selection, say they want to book the King 104, you can then not only have them book the unit, but you can add on different amenities like bottles of wine or whatnot, and anything that you want to do, spa services. So therefore you can sell both packages and add-on items. And then of course, they book the reservation just like you would normally book. And then whatever credit card or payment guarantee you want to take would be saved with the reservation. And that would be automatically put into the front desk system so that you don't have to follow up with the HOA directly. So this booking engine is part of can be part of the basic channel manager package. I wanted to show you something else that I think, you might consider doing, especially if you own units in multiple places. So it's not just, for example, at the Plaza Beach Hotel, where if I click this, now I'm booking at the Palm Beach Hotel Condo Association. But you also might have some units in, say, Colorado. So your Colorado might have its own booking engine with its own grouping of units. So this product that I'm showing you right here is both a concierge system, and it's a way to build a simple website for your guests so that they can very much interact with you. Not just obviously to make bookings, but they can actually, request guest services. For example, a maintenance request, or they could request, local dining. This is basically a guest book type of activity that you can put as your website, so that when they log in to your unit, to say your Wi-Fi, when they log into, they go to your property, they choose your Wi-Fi. This could be, your website. It's a beautiful mobile system. So it looks great on smartphones, which of course is the way most people are traveling these days. You can put any level, and we will help you put any level of services in here, whether it's booking things like spas, or whether it's choosing from a menu for say, local restaurants. And here, I'll give you a couple different examples here of some of these that, we have quite a few customers that are using this, not just the vacation rental space, but property management companies do so. Like here's one that, offers ancient rock painting tour in Mexico, right? Or a fishing tour, right? So you can put in information, your guests can book themselves into that fishing tour, or horseback riding, right? All of these are very elegant ways in which you can offer your guests the ability to book services. Now, when these services get booked, whoever is responsible, for example, in this case, if there's a fishing tour, that fishing tour person would have a BookingCenter app on their mobile phone or the tablet or something. So the minute a booking happens, they get notified. You don't have to worry about notifying them. Then they can follow up with the guest directly through SMS or through their app or through email. So if you've got horseback riding people, maybe that's a different vendor who provides this. Then you can send your request to your guests to those people. So this is a really good way to not only extend the satisfaction of your guest, but to really make a meaningful contribution to the local economy where your units are, so that you're bringing in other vendors from your tourism market to work with your guests. And it increases guest satisfaction vastly, as well as offers a really nice integration, whether it's, your housekeeping, or maintenance, or whether it's service providers like, a spa or a horseback riding or a tour provider. So this is an optional product that you can buy. It's really nice for extending your guest satisfaction. There's a chance that your HOA will invest in such a thing too, so it can be available building wide. But right now, we definitely offer it to any individual property owner, or a property owner who owns multiple units can get the concierge system. So if we kind of go in a rough sort of overview here, what BookingCenter offers your customers or your owners is to put your units in any of the channels that you feel like marketing for. All right, that could be Booking.com, that might be Expedia, that might be Airbnb, that might be Priceline, Travelocity, over 700,000 travel agents. It's a very broad global distribution, and the whole thing is only $50 a month to participate in the basic channel manager package. BookingCenter does have a package whereby we will set you up and we'll train you. We will link the units that you own inside your HOA to your login, so you will be the primary keeper of that inventory. And the front desk is basically like a slave. They read the information of the bookings that you send them. It's very simple to get going, but we will help do the setup, and we'll give you unlimited amounts of training. And we provide 24/7 support through phone calls or emails or our web system, so that you can get assistance anytime that you've got questions, about a new channel that you want to, communicate to, or how to put together a new letter or confirmation or cancellation letter, etc. It's all part of that basic $50 a month package. Once again, we call that the Owner Channel Manager, and you will be able to learn more information by going to our website or contacting your HOA or contacting the booking sales department, which you have information of and will be sent to you as a follow-up to this webinar. If you just go to our products area, if you go to the channel manager, you can go to the same demo that we've just been demoing here, and you can go in there and play with that system. So it's ready to go. It's ready for every single owner who wishes to participate, starting from today forward. So we will send out a little bit of a follow-up information that sort of summarizes some of these key features and the pricing. And if there's any questions, then I am happy to talk to anybody about any questions you've got either now, or you're welcome to contact us. The telephone number here is area code 707-874-3922. And the sales extension is 201. We can schedule demos with you and talk specifically about your unit goals, and especially if you've got units in multiple places. I know there's a few owners there at the HOA that do have units in other places. No worries, we can incorporate that into the system as well. And as I said, we'll send out additional information and a link to this webinar so you can review it again and gather your questions, and we'll be happy to continue this dialogue with you. Thank you very much for participating in today's webinar on the Owner Channel Manager.